Hello, and welcome to the Triad RAC WebEOC video series. In this first video, we will discuss the basics of accessing the Triad RAC's WebEOC system. To access WebEOC, you should open a browser window and go to the provided web address from your training materials. Here, you should provide your username and password as provided to you by the RAC. But before you go too much further, please note the Forgot Username and Password links on the main screen. This is where if you have forgotten your password or tried too many times with an invalid password, you can reset your password. Also, if you have forgotten your username, the system will email you your username to the email address provided to you when you started the WebEOC registration process. It is important to note that you have 3 attempts at logging into WebEOC before your account is locked for 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes has elapsed, you can reset your own password using the steps we just discussed. Now, log into WebEOC using your username and password and click the OK button. The system will then begin to ask you what position you are filling and what incident you need to log into. WebEOC tailors your control panel to the role you are filling in any given incident. Therefore, you should choose your appropriate position. Next, you should select the incident you need to access. This may be a hospital-specific incident. This may be a statewide incident for a hurricane or winter storm. Regardless, you need to make sure that you're selecting the correct incident so that your records will be entered into the correct area. Once you've selected your position and incident, please click OK. Finally, the system will ask you to fill out some additional information about you and where you are located. You are required to enter your name, email, and phone number. This data will also be transferred into WebEOC boards to speed your data entry. Once you have entered in all of the appropriate information and clicked OK, the control panel will open as a pop-up in your system as a standalone web page. You can now close the old login screen and resize your control panel as needed. It is important to note that if you have pop-up blockers turned on in your Internet Explorer browser, that you will need to turn off pop-up blockers to be able to access WebEOC. We will now review the main sections of the control panel and discuss the basic operations. At the top of the control panel, you will see your username, position, incident, and logout button. By clicking on the position, you can quickly switch between positions, or by clicking on incident, you can click and choose a different incident on the fly without having to log back into the system. Directly below this area are the boards, which are WebEOC's main methods for sharing information. These board names will make more sense in the future videos, but for now note the name of the board, the blue plus button, and the X button. You'll notice each of these buttons and each of these text colors means something different. A black text means that there is no new information on that board. Red text, on the other hand, means that there is new information on that board that you should probably take a look at. This is much like your unread emails button in your Outlook system. A blue plus button allows you to add information directly into that board, but a grayed out screen means that you can't view the data from that board. To open a board, you actually click on the name of the board with your mouse, and it will open that board in a separate window. Note that once you have these windows open, you can resize them. You can move them around your screen and set them however you would like to do. Ultimately, you now have the opportunity to close this board by either clicking the red X button in the top right-hand corner, or if you notice there's a red X button on the control panel that you can click as well, and it will close that view also. Directly below the boards are menus. Each position has a set of submenus that allows them to access additional tools in WebEOC. So this position has additional submenus for job action sheets, HICS forms, and job action sheets from other areas in the command structure as well. Below that in Tools, you have a WebEOC Help, and below Plugins, you have a file library. File library is a location where your hospital has the ability to upload documents that you would like to store off of your server but have available in emergencies. Finally, the last item to look at is the Log Off button in the top right-hand corner of your control panel. When you are done with WebEOC, we ask that you please click the Log Off button so that you can be officially logged out of the system and ready to use it the next time. That concludes this video on how to access WebEOC and navigate through the program using the control panel. Thank you for your time, and we encourage you to view our other training videos on how to use the Triad RAC's WebEOC system. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.